Steve! Oh my goodness! Yeah! Holy sh!
Okay, show of hands. Who wants to go to the Cape Girardeau swap meet this year?
I do.
Folks, let's show you our candidate for this year. This is I believe it's a 1985. I'd have to check the title. As you can see, this is a Shortbed, two-wheel drive, or four-wheel drive, 4x4. What the hell am I talking about here? I'm all flustered. I'm all excited about this truck. Half-ton, four-wheel drive, Shortbed, Bullnose. I was at an auction a couple of months ago, and I wasn't here at the auction for this. I was there for a couple other things, which I didn't get, but that's beside the point. The guy had passed away, so they're selling off his stuff. This was sitting on a slab at the end of the driveway. As I said, it was not listed, but I kept hoping that they would sell it anyway. They didn't, but you know, you hang around an auction all day when they're selling off someone's deceased stuff, you figure out who the family members are. Anyway, the auction was over. I paid for my stuff, and I was walking back out to my vehicle. The daughter and the auctioneer were standing right by the truck. So I went, what the hell? I went and asked, is the truck for sale by chance? And it was. I ended up paying $350 for it.
Shut your ass.
I don't know anything about this. I dragged it home. It's got a 302 manual transmission. And that's about all I know. I haven't even checked the brakes. I winched it up onto the trailer, and that was it. She did say she thought it might have a broken axle. Should be here, shouldn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I can't.
There you go.
Oh man.
302 cubic inches of fury.
It looks so small, man.
Yeah. Now, the truck obviously is rusty, as you can see. I've driven worse, I guess.
Did you see the custom license plate?
Oh, covering the... What would that hole have been? Yeah, she's definitely crusty. But it ought to make the trip, provided we can get it running. And that's what we're going to do today. Attempt, anyway. How bad's the floor over here? The corner's getting almost non-existent. Yeah, there's some floor there. It's really not any worse than that. The green F-150 we took. It's right up there. If you watched that video, you might recall that I actually had to jack up the front of the cab and make new cab mounts for it out of just scrap metal. And yeah, the back of the cab was just wasted, gone. Anyway, let's get this in the shop and get working on it. It's cold out here in the wind. Must be a four-wheel drive, driver's side tire spinning. So it's in the shop now. I got the fire going over there. Now I don't know for sure how long this thing has sat. The bed was just piled full of crap, as you know, being car guys, how a vehicle when it sits around it ends up, especially trucks.
Yeah.
And the tires are rotten as hell. But going by the license, it's only been parked, what, 3 years? I don't know, maybe it's been parked longer than that, but they just kept the license up on it because the tires are so rotted. It had to have sat longer than that.
Yeah.
Which is a shame because there's really good tread on those tires, but they are just rotted.
Got a cracked lockout too. No, it's just flaking. But I don't know if you noticed this. It almost appears as if like that had been hot, or is it just?
I think it's just the brake fluid did that.
Is that what
messed
that
up the paint?
Contaminated it.
Yeah, it's just.
Huh.
So, well, we checked. It does have brakes, right?
Yeah.
That's a huge plus right there. Don't have to mess around with the brakes, but I'm betting that was just a brake fluid leak out of the master cylinder at some point. Let's see if.
Well, we got
Yeah, the
fluid.
rear chamber, it's not empty, but it's pretty damn low. But no, that's a huge benefit right there. It's got brakes. We don't have to mess with those. You don't have to put an engine in it. That's. I'd much rather put an engine in than mess with brakes.
Right. Well, do we see if she's stuck?
Here you go. Somebody get in there on it. I got to film. No bueno.
Get on there, heifer. And, oh, yay!
Yes. Man, we're practically at the swap meet already.
Yeah.
No points, so we don't have to fuck with those. Good old durable Duraspark. It's a little low, ain't it? I can't hardly.
Yeah.
Looks kind of dirty, but at least there's something there. I can't focus on it. Oh well, there's something there. Anybody want to taste it?
Aaron?
Gosh, darn. Give it here. Let me give her a whirl. Doesn't taste like antifreeze, so. Say that's like a 40 weight.
See if this tastes like antifreeze. Ooh, I see nothing down in there. That seems, yeah, that's very dry as well. Which kind of makes sense considering all the oil and sconge all over everything in that area. Typical Ford of this era, leaky power steering.
Yeah.
I'm guessing there's going to be a 2-barrel under here. Yep, good old 2-barrel. All the emissions crap. It's stuck.
It's rebuildable if you go that route.
Actually, I've got a rebuilt one right over there, sitting in that rig. See what surprises await in there.
Nice.
Yes. Buckeyes. A little fur. Tried soaking the carburetor shafts with some penetrating oil. All that's working in. I don't think it's going to come loose anyway. We decided to get this damned air conditioning out of the way because it wasn't going to do us any good, even if it did work, which I'm sure it didn't. Just got this one little bracket left. I don't know. Nothing irks me more than having something in my way that has no purpose. It's just me and Monty here sitting around watching Aaron work.
Yeah.
You're doing a great job, man.
Typical. Aw. I didn't get an attaboy.
Purr like a walrus for me. So the
When you
throttle
can
is
reach
starting
over.
to move now. We've got a little bit of movement out of it, so there's hope. Got the air conditioning off. I put power steering fluid in it and topped off the reservoir here. We'll be driving this for dark.
Yeah.
Moving?
Yep.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Just gotta.
I'm betting that the accelerator pump is going to leak. They always do on these motor crafts. That's the one downfall of them when they've sat for a while.
We've got action, boys.
Full throttle action! Sunday, 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 bitches! Got a battery in it. We decided we're not even going to check for spark.
Just gonna wing it?
Yeah, it's not points, so fucking points.
Hateful.
Points, diesels, and Hollies. Just enrage me.
And I don't care what your viewers think. All 17 of them.
Yep. They are loyal, I'll say that for them.
They're a good bunch. I got something in there. Oh,
Neutral.
That's the
you
clutch.
got any cranky crank?
No, nothing. I surely don't have to push the clutch pedal on this, do I?
Probably.
Oh yeah.
Hey.
What'd you do?
Oh, you didn't push the clutch yet?
Oh yeah, I did, but it didn't work the first time.
Oh. We just wiggled some wires.
Yeah, try it again.
Try it again.
Radio.
Is that the radio?
The Craco radio is working. It sounds awful.
That's going to be great for the trap.
It's just the titty little speaker in the dash. All right, cranking.
Cranking.
All right, let's try another battery.
That's not good cranking.
You ready?
Cranking.
Yeah, this ignition switch is hard to turn. I got nothing again.
We got a runner.
Did anything come out of the fuel line?
No.
We didn't have any fuelage yet. But if it's drained clear back to the tank, I mean, that's going to take a moment to get up there anyway.
That's not ketchup
See. Yeah.
in there. Should be, yeah, just right
I was going
middle.
to say, yeah. There we go.
There you go.
Okay.
I'll be damned. Looks like the accelerator pump isn't leaking.
No, that's what I.
Not yet.
Yeah, not yet.
Pump it 3-4 times.
I have faith that it will.
It's off.
All right, then.
I can't believe that it would have sucked that much out.
Yeah, just got surprised it sucked that down that quick. Oh, I thought you emptied it.
No, but it was coming out. See how it was bubbling out?
The accelerator pump still isn't leaking, is it?
No, not
Wait, I
yet.
see something wet underneath there. Is it just
Well,
running down from the top?
I sprayed it with some
Okay.
penetrating oil to make it.
We still don't have any fuel out of the line yet, so
The seat's not great, but it ain't terrible either.
it can't be worse than the Chevy.
Man.
Oh, accelerator pump's leaking.
Is it leaking?
Yeah.
Damn it.
We have leakage. Yeah, it's definitely leaking. And Monty broke our light.
Oh, I just don't.
Buddy,
I can't have anything nice. There.
Hey,
I can't take you anywhere.
you're a master of fixage. That's some leakage.
What?
Okay.
It'll be okay. It's looking good.
Very good. Sounds good.
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and change out this carburetor, and seeing as how the engine's running, it sounds good. There's no knocking or terrible noises. I'm gonna go ahead and invest putting some antifreeze in here. Got this carburetor here that I rebuilt. I don't know, it's been sitting here probably at least a year, year and a half, maybe 2 years. Whew. It was for this rig, but it'll have to do for this. Where'd Monty go? What'd you do to him?
I don't know.
Did you do something naughty to him while he was bent over? Oh, there he is. He's back. He's back for more.
Are you done crying? You thought this was going to go harder or something?
Yeah, this is just kind of confusing. It's going so well.
You know, it is a Ford. You know, they run so good. They're not. I don't know.
You're being facetious?
Yes. Whoa, big word.
Big word of the day, facetious. There's your big word of the video. Okay, so these two chump monkeys are working on the carburetor. I was filling the antifreeze, and unfortunately we got a leak down there. But turns out, I was thinking it was the water pump. They're telling me it's leaking from, yeah, I see it now. It's coming right out of that bypass hose. Let's see if I can get over there, yeah. And, fortunately, I found one. Used, but can't be any worse than that one.
Another one for here.
I'm still trying to find that nut.
Yeah. It's a mystery.
I found another one there.
Well,
Unless it fell into a place where it really could cause damage, don't worry about it.
I think we're just going to go that route. You want
I can't fix the antifreeze leak till you guys get done with the carburetor. Get the hell out of my way. What's the matter?
God,
Catch your wiener?
I felt like it.
Yeah, this is a new one on us. This little box thing that's on the side of this carburetor. It's about the size of a relay, but I don't know what it is. You guys said it hooks into the choke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody know what that is?
It's got Scotch locks on it.
Well,
So you know it's good.
all right, carburetor's changed. Monty's spewing everything everywhere. He's like that.
Get it on there. Okay.
Got the antifreeze leak fixed. Radiator's full. Gravity feeding the carb. We want this to run long enough to see if we can get the fuel pump to puke something out. See what's potentially might come out of the tank. We ready?
I believe so. She primed.
All right, we're gonna catch some of that fuel. It smells pretty nasty. I have smelled worse though, but there you go.
We'll see if we can even like be able to run.
At least we know the fuel tank's not rusted out now. On the bottom anyway.
Yeah, could be on the top.
Fire hole.
Look,
That's not terrible.
well, it's got a little bit of water in it, but
Any sediment? I'm not seeing
I
it.
don't see any sediment.
Well, the water might be from what was in the bottle already.
Yeah.
Ready? Whoop.
I'd say we can run that.
Yeah, dump a few gallons in the tank, hook her up.
Got a bolt in here. See if this thing's charged.
The bottom drawers in the toolbox, the roller base should be somewhere in there. tell me to shut it off?
No.
Oh, I heard someone yell.
I said we had action, Jackson.
Okay, gauges, I'm showing quarter tank of gas, roughly. Oil pressure, temperature's not come up yet. And charging gauge showing it's working. Assumedly so. Okay, we got no headlights. Into this before with a bad dimmer switch, you'll get no headlights whatsoever. I don't know if that's the case this time. Got no dash lights, we got nothing. I don't think we even got any running lights. Yeah, we got nothing.
Old fuel, I suppose.
Oh, you spilled your water. My pit crew here is confident this is ready for a test drive.
Absolutely.
It was running great with the new carb, and we hooked up the fuel line, and it's got 5 gallons of fresh fuel in it, quarter tank of gas, as you saw by the gauge. It's not running the greatest, so we're hoping it's just the crappy fuel.
Yeah, I think it's just got to even itself out with the new.
Yeah, that 5 gallons only brought up quarter tank. I could throw another 10, 15 gallons in it, but right now we're gonna go for a test drive.
Go out for a rip.
Wasn't moving too high. I had to put it back in 4-wheel drive.
Uh-oh.
I'll try it again.
We might have a rear axle problem.
Yeah, there's definitely something not connected.
Well,
might even be transfer case.
Could be. I'm going to look under it while you're in 2-wheel drive, see the drive shaft spinning.
God damn it. Yeah, it don't like that fuel at all.
No, we should have left the gravity feeding on. Is in neutral.
Yeah, but by counting the clicks, it should be in 2. There's 4x4. 1 click, the light goes out. You know, got the shift pattern backwards.
That's what I was thinking, maybe. Sounds pretty good.
Yeah, sounds good.
Gas.
Got brakes.
Oh, man. Sounds better now.
Yeah, it does. That choke might have opened up too.
Yeah. Yeah, the choke was kind of hanging close there.
Yep.
You got a ton of fuel. I think your choke's sticking closed.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I didn't even open. Here, let me get a screwdriver.
Did I see brake lights working?
Yes. Get it back in the shop.
Where the hell that's?
Okay.
Maybe we got it backwards.
I pulled that off the positive side.
18 volts.
That ain't
And
right.
I'm on DC.
you're on the ground post there.
Yep.
18
touching the
volts.
ground here.
Okay, that's disturbing.
Why is that? How is it amplifying that?
Clearly you guys hooked up the carburetor wrong somehow. What'd you guys do? I understand. I do stupid stuff myself. we've all seen that.
Why you did it again?
As of my 17 loyal viewers, they've seen me do plenty of stupid things.
Because all that was just the wires were coming out going to the carburetor, right?
Yeah.
Let's get rid of it. Because I don't know why it's amplifying the voltage like it is.
Well, while they're trying to figure out this wiring, because I hate wiring, I'm gonna look into this broken axle postulation. If I use the word properly there. Not sure I've even pronounced that properly.
I don't even know what you said.
All right, this axle shaft is obviously intact.
Well, you're driving it.
Yeah, I was driving it in two-wheel drive. I assume it was in two-wheel drive. The light was off. Yeah, that seems good. Let's see what we can find with the front. What's the verdict? Boy, that's a lot of slop, but it is catching.
It's catching.
How's the wheel bearings and ball joints seem? Nice and tight, looks like.
Bad.
Yeah, I won't have to give them any attention.
A little loose that direction.
Maybe tie rods.
Tie rod.
Here, do it.
Yep, that's tie rod, isn't it? I see the center one moving.
Yeah, it's not out at the end, whatever it is.
You see the U-joint there?
Yeah, it seems to be tight. So I'm guessing the slop is just in the ring and pinion on this.
Yeah.
Of course, some of it's going to be going through the transfer case and all that too.
The center U-joint looks okay from here.
Yeah, this U-joint seems tight.
Yeah, front end's tight.
Here, wiggle it back and forth again.
Like this?
Yeah. Yeah, all those tie rods seem good. It's just you got that one on the other side going into the center link. Maybe we shoot some grease in it, it might tighten it up. So here's a better look at that little box that we have no idea what it was, but it was wired into the electric choke. We're just going to get rid of it, and we're going to run this like we did on our first trip with the green F-150. We're just going to have the choke open all the time and just deal with it in the cold mornings. If someone has to get out and close the choke to get it started, so be it. Anybody know what this is? Not that it matters, we're getting rid of it. I'm just kind of curious what it is. Why is it hooked into the electric choke? And it's clearly not a factory, well, I guess it could be a factory piece, but I've never seen it. And
No.
just the fact it's got these damn Scotch locks on it tells us that it's probably not factory. Hey Monty, you want to take the shaft?
Of course I'll take the shaft. You know better than that.
I gave Monty a Craftsman mower. When was that? Last fall?
Last fall.
He wants to build an off-road mud mower. This is a Peerless 820 transaxle I just got done locking last night. And when I ordered the shaft for this, I mistakenly ordered a 6-foot piece instead of a 3-foot piece. So I'm giving him some shaft. I suppose the reason it probably seemed to me when I was driving it maybe just a little unimpressive.
Overfueling.
Yeah, overfueling, and the choke was stuck shut, so it wasn't getting enough fuel and air. But yeah, it seems pretty peppy. I think it'll do the job just fine. What do you think of that seat?
It needs to go back.
Yeah, I mean, as far as
But
from what little I've sat in it, it's not nearly as bad as that square body seat
that's
was.
what I was gonna say. Comparably,
Yeah,
this is comfortable.
Yeah,
compared to that.
you couldn't get much worse than that square body seat.
The bucket seats were a night and day.
Is there anything behind the seat of value or interest? Not really.
I see a trash bag to hide your dead cats in.
What? Speaking of dead cats, here's something I haven't done in a long time. Steve! Yeah, some of Steve's ashes are in here. So he's always with me. There you go.
Much better. Oh my gosh. This is even better now. Anything cool inside? Oh.
Ooh, owner's manual. Vintage.
Nice.
Four-wheeling with Ford. Safe 4x4 driving.
Did you look at the odometer?
Nope, never did.
We got 41,032, but there's not enough spaces, so that could be 141,000.
200.
It could be 241,000. I would say, judging by that clutch pedal and the wear it's got, it's probably a couple 100,000 miles.
So we're pretty happy with the truck so far. We're making a list here. Let's see. Got to fix the headlights, change the fluids. It needs some different tires. That's so sad because the tread on these is just great. It needs a driver's side mirror. It needs exhaust. There's no exhaust underneath there. Somebody harvested the cats, I'm guessing, but there isn't even remnants going out the back. So it needs an entire exhaust system. What else, guys?
Did anybody try the heater, blower, fan?
Oh no, I didn't. I bet it's got mouse nest in there somewhere.
I'm right here. Let's try her out real quick. Let's see if we got any. Are we ready?
Yeah. Oh! Yeah, you can hear it thumping in there, and you can hear debris flying around. You can hear the mouse turds in there getting circulated.
Or it's just a mouse in there.
Yeah. At least the blower motor's spinning. So it's a couple days later since the guys were over here working on this truck. I wasn't even planning on working on this today. I was going to investigate what it would take to get headers to fit on this. As you might know, I have a wall out there that is just full of headers I bought cheap at swap meets just to have around. yeah, one thing led to another, and I ended up spending all afternoon trying every single small block header I had out there, except for one set. And I did find a set that fits, but they didn't come off the wall. This is the only set I've got that fits. They weren't on the wall because these were, I bought these specifically to put on my 65 Mercury Marauder that I was putting a 302 in and from a, I forget what year it is now, but from an Explorer. So it's got the GT40P heads on it. I had to ding these in a couple of spots to clear the spark plugs because, as you may or may not know, the GT40P heads, the spark plug come through at a different angle. I'm going to go ahead and use them for this for a couple of reasons. Number one is they are specifically for this. Well, that's the wrong year, but this is the same chassis as the 87 through 95. But I seem to have lost interest in the 65 Marauder, for now anyway. Every time I think about it, I think, instead of a small block, I should throw a big block in it. So if nothing else, I can take these back off of this truck when I'm done with it. Because I do have future plans for this truck after the swap meet trip. I did not, in truth, buy this truck specifically for the swap meet trip. It was for something else. The swap meet trip was just going to be a bonus. I scrounged up this muffler. I'm going to have that put on. These are 2.5-inch pipes, which is, a bit excessive for a 302, but the future plans for this truck, there's a real possibility that it could end up with a 460 in it. Also went and rounded up a 3G alternator. If I have time, I'll get that adapted onto this truck. The charging system seems to be working on it, so I don't really need to do that. But yeah, we'll see how time goes. Now, normally if I was just going to be doing this trip with it, I'd just kind of cobble up my own exhaust. I'm going to take it, hopefully get this truck in good enough shape that I can get it to an exhaust shop and get it done. Guy I go to does real good work, reasonable prices, and because I'm planning on using the truck after the swap meet, I want a good professional exhaust put on it instead of a cobbled up mess for just one trip. As I said, one thing led to another, and I decided to go out and round up some tires. These tires came off of my daughter's Explorer after I made it into a trail rig. They got pretty good tread. They're a little gravel chewed. They do have a little bit of dry rot in the tread, but the sidewalls are good, so that's an advantage over these. These have dry rot in the tread and the sidewall, so these will be an improvement. I have both exhaust manifolds off there, ready to start doing the headers in the future. I'm out of time for today, and I rounded up an air cleaner as well. Now, I've put headers on a 76 Bronco, one of my projects. I don't know if I covered this when I did that, but I want to show you some advice that has worked well for me with headers. Now, when you buy a new set of headers, they typically always come with bolts like this. Do not use these. These suck. Get yourself some of these Allen head bolts. There are much better way to get in there with the Allen wrench, and you can get tighter on them with the Allen wrench than you can with these miserable little bastards. Also, I'm going to say when these headers come, they typically come with paper gaskets. Do not use those. Those are awful. These came with some good metallic type gaskets. Even if you have to go to the parts store and get some stock ones, yeah, get some of these. They just last. Those paper ones, they just blow out. And also, I recommend pulling the spark plugs out when you're messing around with manifolds or headers. Ultimately, you're going to end up breaking one or two of them messing around in there. I wanted to take the spark plugs out anyway and look at them, so that wasn't a big deal. These have some good auto light plugs in them, and they look pretty good other than the sooting on them from the carburetor choke being stuck shut. But anyway, I'm out of time for now. I gotta go inside, get something to eat, go to work. So later, fartwads. Alright folks, it is another couple days later. Meant to work on this yesterday. Other things got in the way and I never got to it. Had an interesting development about my exhaust idea. My exhaust guy can't do the job. He's having trouble getting supplies. I don't know why. I briefly considered putting the manifolds back on and just cobbling up a single exhaust. Who's yowling at me? Is that you? clearly worried about something. What are you looking at? Something's got him worried. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah. Instead of doing that, I decided to soldier on with the header idea. I have a universal 2.5 inch dual exhaust kit on the way right now. I did run out to my truck that I keep up in my boneyard that I have a bunch of exhaust stuff in, and rounded up these 2.5 inch downpipes that should work very well with the headers. So I got that part started anyway. Got the truck up in the air today. I was going to get started on the tires. Got the rims off of these. These are the tires I'm going to use, which I already pointed out. Got these ones off of it. Let me show you how bad they were. Can't really show you because the sun there. Cracking in the tread and some pretty good going here on the sidewall. Now these two are off the front. And these two back ones aren't really that bad for tread. Great tread on them. A little bit of dry rot. Probably take these as spares. Plus the tread on these, even though there is decent tread on them, they are worn evenly. Or sorry, worn unevenly. As you might be able to tell there. So the front end might have some alignment problems. Anyway, while I got it in the air before I do the tires, I think I'm going to get underneath there, drain the engine oil, transfer case fluid, and at least check the fluid in the transmission and the rear end. Change them if necessary. Now, after getting this up in the air, I've found this frame is definitely rustier than I realized. It makes me wonder if I need to reconsider whether I want to use this for something after the trip. Also found a little bit of a brake leak here, and I'm smelling stale fuel underneath here like there's a leak, but I am not seeing it. Closest thing I can find is this plastic rear tank back here. So that might make things real interesting when I get underneath here to weld that exhaust. I do have another one. I'm not sure that's the right size. This looks almost too big for this to fit over. I'm going to see if I can't break these parts out of there and maybe try to get a caliper on it and find out. If not, I need to be getting one ordered. Actually got it out in one piece. This measurement here is actually just a little bit larger than the inside diameter of this, so this one should work. It's got the right thickness and everything. Gotcha. Wow, that is low. I'm not getting anything. I'm getting my pinky in there as far as I can. Holy crap. There's nothing in there. So I put a cord in here. It is still way low. I'm not going to put any more in for now. I'm going to wait and see if a leak develops here. Let it sit for a day or so. There's no point in me putting more fluid in it if I'm going to have to end up pulling this whole pumpkin out and resealing it somehow. Now I'm thinking that in order for that fluid to get that low in it, that should have been leaking clear down here at the bottom. And to that end, I went ahead and dug all that crap out of there that collects. And like I said, I'm going to let it sit for a day or two and see if it leaks out. As you can see, maybe right in there, there's some red silicone. And dug some out. So it obviously has been apart before and somebody has sealed it up. Maybe they just forgot to fill it again. I'm hoping that's all it is. There doesn't seem to be any damage. It's good and tight. No grinding or nasty noises, so I don't know. Let's move on to checking the transmission. She's kind of dirty. I think I'll just go ahead and drain it and change it out. Wow, that actually looks pretty good. Hell with it, I'm going to keep it. I know I said I was going to change it, but I did not expect it to look that good. I will top it off and call it good. This transfer case is a new process 208. Transmission is a T18. The front axle is what's known as the Dana 44 twin traction beam. It has the same ring and pinion as a solid axle 44, high pinion. Same U-joints, it just has one extra for the way the whole suspension pivots. The rear axle is an 8.8. Yeah, that can stand to be changed. Let me tell you guys something about this tire machine. A lot of people might think it's a luxury. When you're working on as many tires and vehicles as I do, it's well worth it. Just the way I used to do tires is I would break the bead down with the fork on my loader, and then I would wrestle the tires off with the tire spoons and pry bars. That's back-breaking work. And as you know, if you went to a tire shop, that is just outrageous to have work done there. If you have room and the air compressor to run one of these, definitely do it. I wish I'd have got one of these years ago. I got this maybe just slightly over a year ago. Man, totally regret not having one sooner. It does take up quite a bit of room in the corner of the shop, but well worth it. Very well worth it. I optioned this one out with the assist arm. No regrets there. That assist arm is great. You'd think I'd get the proper pliers for taking off wheel weights though. This arm comes in handy. I could back it up and redo it. And what happened here is the bead, it did not drop down into the center. Instead of having to back up and redo it, I just used the arm to push it down. Pop, back to business. Now, I will tell you, one of the things I hate about that particular tire machine I've got, the airline for filling up the tires is pathetically slow. So I would just roll them out here and use my real airline. Back feed seat a little bit. And away we go. Not always that simple though. And of course I always like showing off my Bronco any chance I get. I love you. And finally, check it for bead leaks. Looks pretty good on this side. Righteous. So while I was doing the tires, I had the fire going here. It's not really that cold of a day out today, but seeing as how I need to be using gear oil, mostly I just had the fire going so I could warm that up. Because yeah, in these cold temperatures, even though it's not terribly cold today, that gear oil does not pour very well or push out of the spout of that bottle. Plus, it's been a day since I figured out there was no gear oil in the front differential. And as you recall, I put a cord in, I was going to let it set and see if it leaks out. So far, there's no signs of any leakage. But I figure I'll go ahead and get the shop warmed up in here, help that gear oil to get thinner, and then maybe a leak will appear. I don't want it to, but I'm going to give it a fair chance before I deem it good or bad. Try to keep the debris out of there while I'm scraping. One of my swamp meat finds. You know what? It's gotten pretty good and warm in here. I'm not seeing any leaks out of this. I'm going to go ahead and fill it up because I've got the gear oil all warmed up. And it's one more thing I just want to check off the list so I can stop worrying about it and move on to other stuff. Even if it does leak, I'm confident that it won't go completely empty. There it is. Alright, trying to move on to something else. Now, this looks to me like it might be just a little bit restrictive, Not like shorty headers are known for their great flow characteristics anyway, but they've got to be at least better than these manifolds. Getting a rough measurement in here, this is 2-inch pipe outside diameter. It's getting about 2 1/4 across here, and this is only about 2 inches. I think I'm going to go ahead and open this up to at least match the inside diameter of that. Now that is a big difference, and I only took off, what, 1/8 of an inch, maybe a little more than 1/8. Initially, I was going to go by, come on focus, that scratch there, but I determined it didn't look like it was going to seal very well with this flange I got. I got one factory one, I'm assuming that's off of 460, and this was the only factory one I could find. The factory one looked like it would actually seal with the, if I would have made the larger cut. This one here looked like it might have been kind of iffy, so I went ahead and dropped back a little bit. But yeah, it's at 2 1/4 now. It is pretty much the same diameter as this piece in here. I'm not sure that's going to come out so well with this one. Already got it marked there. You can see. Seems like that inner ring is quite a bit bigger than what that'll be. So there we go, both of them done. I don't know why, but this second one put up a lot more of a fight than the first one. Took a lot more grinding. I don't know, maybe that one's thicker or something. Well, who knows? Yeah, I don't know if this will make any real performance gain or not. Because you know that here at Misfit Toys, we're always looking to get the best performance value for your dollar. Okay, folks, another day has passed. I'm out here this afternoon. It's, actually, I think it's still morning yet, which is really unusual for me. But anyway, with the differential full, I am still seeing no signs of leakage. Still mysterious. I mean, it looks like there might have been some leaking going on there, possibly, or even in here. Or who knows, it might just be the mess from, you know, changing the oil. But I'm feeling pretty good about the front diff at this point. I've also got the headers bolted on with just 2 bolts, so I can start sizing up how I'm going to build this exhaust. Aaron's going to be over here in a little while, help out. It's been a week since we started this thing. Monty won't make it today. He's feeling a little down. Look who's here. It's the next Douglas Bubble Trousers.
What in the world?
From Hot Rod.
Oh.
You're the next Douglas Bubble Trousers. Monty's not coming today. He heard you were going to be here.
What a loser.
After what you did to him last weekend, I don't blame him.
I don't know what I did to him.
You know how precious he is.
That's true. He is a very precious man.
One of these days, his inner rage is going to break loose. He's going to kill both of us.
He's a sensitive man. He's holding it all in.
For now.
For now. Whoa, you got headers.
Oh, yeah. I had to do something unnecessary to this thing.
All the
That's
raw
kind of
horsepower.
Yeah, all dozens of it.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Like, what was it? Last time you felt the need to put that transfer case in. And it didn't really need it, but
Didn't need it, but
definitely an improvement.
I like it.
And then the green F-150, I had to put headers and intake and all that on it.
Yeah.
I got all the fluids changed, everything greased. Yeah, I haven't got much clicked off the list. I actually put more on it. I've found more stuff.
Isn't that how it usually goes?
Yeah, it is. Well, I'm going to work on these lockouts. We determined last weekend after the camera was not rolling, the lady that sold this to me thought that had a broken axle. Everything in the drivetrain is fine. Aaron came up with the postulation. Is that the word I used last weekend?
I think so.
Or the theory anyway, that now this is true. The lockout here is not unlocking. So we're thinking that's what the lady was thinking, or was relayed to her somehow, misinterpreted or something. But I do want to check the wheel bearings. And as you can see, these lockouts are extremely crusty. I'm betting these little bolts are not going to come out. So I'm probably going to have to drill them out. But yep, need to check them wheel bearings. I guess, Aaron, you can just look at the list, pick something out, or start at the top, whatever you feel like doing, because there's plenty on the list needs done.
Yep. Start somewhere and attack it. I found a mouse nest.
Pretty impressive.
They had her pack clear up in there. Ah! Maybe I should shop vac that. Just don't use a heater all at once.
It says he fished this paper wasp nest out of there too, which I find kind of unusual to get clear, embedded clear down in there. This all you pulled out?
Yeah.
I've seen worse.
But, I mean, they had it. This tube was completely full, and then there was.
Hey, we need that.
But you can see that they had been up in there too.
Huh.
So,
Yeah. Little bastards.
like mice do. You did it! Congratulations!
I think I might even salvage the lockout. See, the problem when this happens, it's not that the little bolts are corroded in here, they're corroded into the hole in the lockout. Yeah, these will, they're all coming out of my finger. I didn't even need the vice grips. It's just the head was corroded. So with this particular one, it doesn't matter that the cap was salvageable, because this is the problem. When you twist the knob here, this plunger should go down. And it clearly is not, no matter which way you turn it. So there's the problem with the lockout. But I'm still going to go in there and check them wheel bearings. Mr. Aaron here went the extra mile. Just like I did with my gray F250, he pulled the heater core out and blew it all out there too. So hopefully it'll be nice and toasty for us.
No, I think it's ready for reassembly as far as that goes. I mean,
I have got this front end apart, and I've just got done cleaning everything except for the hub itself, and unfortunately I'm not going to be able to put it back together today. I don't have anything against reusing a seal, but this one is just too far gone. It's got, where is it? There's a chunk out of it somewhere. Yeah, right there. And it's really hard and dried out, so. Well, I ran into a little bit of a snag here. Once I got to scrubbing up this race, it had, wait a minute, what's that one? This one here had a huge, I don't know what you'd call it, a gouge, a rust spot. I don't know what that is or what caused it. It was only in one spot. So I went looking for another one, and I came up with this one. Had some old drum brake hubs out there in the parts shed. Came up with this one. It's definitely better, but still not bad. Not good, excuse me. It's going into the scrap barrel as well. And then I went back and got another drum brake hub and finally came up with a good one. And as a bonus, the seal out of it seems like it might be serviceable. So that's good. I think Aaron's finishing up the heater reassembly.
yes. Almost done.
Well done, sir.
Felt like it took longer than it should.
Yeah, seems like we're not getting shit done today compared to how things went last weekend.
Yeah.
Finally, got the damn thing all re-greased up and ready to install. As you can see, I'm using the green marine grease that I always use. Love that stuff. I'm afraid I'm probably going to run out of enough grease to get both sides done, but we shall see. Right now I'm going to slap this back on and get moved to the other side. What you doing?
Changing the headlight switch.
Where'd you get that?
Where did I get it?
Yeah.
Well, you got it from Rock Auto, but I found it in the box.
We're not sponsored, by the way.
Yeah, we're not sponsored by them.
Well, while he's doing that, I have the hub on. I need to see. It seems that the interior part of the lockout is fine. It was just the cap that was messed up. And I have a whole dish full of them here. This is why you hoard this kind of stuff. Besides the cap, I'm going to need more of these little bolts, which I think there's some in here. I'll scrounge them up and get to it. How's that headlight switch going?
It's going.
Now this headlight switch, I ordered it for a, I think, what, a late 70s Mercury Marquis. I did this in the past before because the Marquis has 4 headlights instead of 2, so it's got a more heavy-duty circuit breaker, internal circuit breaker. But we don't even know if the headlight switch is the problem. It was cheap enough to order it. I got it and a dimmer switch. But anyway, I got that whole side done over there, all back together. The lockout is working as it should. Time for me to tackle this side now. Nope. I hear the blower motor going. Well, maybe the dimmer switch will do it.
Okay, well. Next stop, dimmer switch.
Yeah, this didn't go to plan either. Things didn't go quite as slick as the other side.
What'd you do over here?
That was always a possibility, having to just change the whole hub. This is the one that worked.
Yeah.
But if you can't get them off, you can't get them off. Luckily, I do have a whole nother hub for it. Did salvage the O-ring though.
That's what happens when you're a hoarder.
Yeah. Well, this side's finally done. I've spent all damned afternoon doing these two sides. Problems I had with this, you saw I had to break the hubcap off. I did have another one, and then I had trouble finding enough of them little screws. What else? Yeah, the seal, it was also messed up on this side. Luckily, I did find a good used one. And one of the brake pads here was worn down really thin. And yes, believe it or not, I'm such a cheap ass that I keep a stash of used brake pads around here. Aaron's laughing at me about that. He pointed out that, yeah, brake pads are only like $20. And I'm like, well, there's more than just that. It saved me having to go into town. And I got this thing back together with my used brake pads and used seals and bearings and races.
To each is their own.
Obviously, he's tackling this mirror right now. He did get the headlights working. The dimmer switch was the issue.
Yes.
He got the tail lights working somewhat.
Yeah,
But-
bad wire in the loom.
Yeah, but because we're going to pull that little 4x8 trailer, we're going to have to put like a flat 4 plug on this, so we're not even going to fix the tail lights till I get a plug, and we can just do all that at once while we're underneath there. What else? Seems like we haven't got much done. My knees are killing me from being down there on the ground working on those wheel bearings and lockouts. And other things that you're on your knees for.
Yeah, no, we still gotta do, well, we gotta fix a brake line.
That's right. I'd kind of like to get that done today before we call it quits.
Yeah.
See if I need to order a wheel cylinder, because no doubt go to bleed it, that bleeder will twist off.
Yeah, I was looking at them. They don't look bad, but that's that's always deceiving when you start turning on them. Then they tend to break.
Well, I'll stop bothering you. You can get that done. I can
That's
find something else to do. It's going to seem unfathomable to me to find something else to work on other than wheel bearings.
yeah. Hand me one of them bolts.
These ones?
Yeah. That's something you can do right now. Throw them. I don't care.
Huck them out in the driveway so I can pick them out of tires later. So it looks to me like the brake fluid leak is probably in this line right here. I'm going to go ahead and hose it off. Use some compressed air to dry it off. And then Aaron's going to go ahead and hit the brake pedal, Chief. Yep, it's coming out of that line somewhere. Yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to see if the brake bleeders will come free before we do that. And if they don't, I'm going to be probably ordering some wheel cylinders. No point in taking all that apart until I get wheel cylinders, so let's find out. Place your bets, folks.
It's going to break.
Don't say that.
Man. Oh.
Yes.
Oh.
Alright, let's move to the other side. Alright, this one went as well. I couldn't film it because I needed both hands. You just have to take my word for it. Are we just lucky, or is it just great working on Fords?
All of the above.
Oh, you were strangely silent there for a while. You had to think about your answer.
Trying to pull me into here.
All right, brake line is all done. I did not have to make a new one. There was a big old schloomp in this right here. I was able to trim it back to the bare minimum of where the rust was. And it was long enough to do it. Reflared it, voila, done. It's been gravity bleeding here for the last, I don't know, 5-10 minutes. I think she's good. I will snug it up, call this good. Man, I really had that backed out. A little bit snug there. Brake leak, let's just scratch that right off of there. Later, fartwads. All right, folks, the clock is still ticking, as you can imagine. Got about a week. Yeah, if things go to plan, this time next week, we will be on our way to the swap meet. I'm going to work on exhaust today. Had a bunch of these 2.5-inch flanges I rounded up, and I came up with these ones are going to be the ones I'm going to use. I'm going to use this on the passenger side and this one on the driver's side. Got my exhaust kit here from Speedway. The part number is 910-13824. 2.5-inch steel hot rod exhaust kit. And to no one's surprise, it's made in China. I think this kit was $183. It came with a box of hangers. It's supposed to be a universal dual kit. Let's open it up, see what's in it. Got an ooh. 90. What would that be? What angles they look like? Alright, looks like we got 4 of these 180Us, 4 90s, and 4, like I said, I think these are maybe a 35. They don't look quite like a 45. And then 4 of these long straight ones look like about 4-footers. This barrel of oil has a lot of water in it. They just had a little hissy fit. That's why this pan is down here to catch that shit when it happens. People are always trying to give me oil to burn in this, and I just hate to take it just because of this. The best oil I've got is from the local service station. I take a barrel in there and they do oil changes, and I go in there a couple weeks later and I get it. That way I know it's fresh, and there's no guarantee it won't have some antifreeze or something in it. But yeah, when a barrel of oil sits around, it will actually get moisture in it, condensation and whatnot. I'm guessing that's what's going on with this barrel. It's all smoky in here now. This is one of the perils of having an oil burner like this. All right, folks, this is going to be hard to show you. I've got my downpipes started. The kit, I guess there's nothing really wrong with the kit, but it's not going to work nearly as slick as I'd hope, but whatever does. This one here, I was hoping that 35 would get me shooted straight out to where the muffler's going to be. Not quite. I'll have to fiddle with that. That shouldn't be that big of a deal. Here's the bigger issue. Man, this is just extremely clumsy filming, and I totally apologize. All right, I slipped this 90 on here. There. I was hoping to do a 90 across here and then another 90 and bring it on out this way. It's, yeah, what this needs right here is a little, I don't know, less than a 90 here. Of course, there's 4 90s with the kit. I do need to keep 2 of them to come out of the muffler. So I think I don't really have a planned use for these. They're dimensionally the same as the 90, so I should be able to trim these 180s, get something done with those to get this driver side header shot out here and then back. Now, the reason I need to save at least 2 of the 90s is to come out of this muffler. It is a Cherry Bomb, part number 88116, and apparently I got it for 20 bucks at the swap meet. If I remember right, I got this last spring in Lawrence, Kansas. Now, here's why I need to keep 2 90s at least. Coming out, I want to run these 90 degrees and out right in front of the rear tire. Like so. And honestly, I'm probably not going to tape a lot of this. It's going to be frustrating work and hard to show you. You already saw how bad it was underneath there. I don't have enough hands, light, or room to be doing a good job of filming this. So it's been a couple hours and this is all I've gotten accomplished. Yeah, it did not work out at all. This was the first little down pipe I had. Just a little short straight piece off of the driver's side, and I just couldn't get anything to fit that made me happy. I know I am overthinking this. I'm far from a perfectionist, but I just but I did find this other one that had a little bit of an angle in it, allowed me to get this little schloop in it to where I could use a pretty much perfect 90-degree piece. I salvaged this out of my first cut, and I figured out that that was not going to work. Well, it would have worked. I just didn't like it. So here it is. Now, let me assure you that it hanging down this low is not an oopsie or a mistake. I did that intentionally. I never have cared for having the exhaust tucked right up in here, because that radiates so much heat in your oil pan and hence your motor oil. And let's be honest and look at this. That exhaust is still higher than that cross-membered suspension there. I'm probably going to have to rethink this muffler though. It's kind of where I would have to put it to get the 90s run out here and tucked up here. I cannot get it up in there any further, which I would like to, because it's going to be hard to see it from this camera angle, but we got this little thing, but I can remove that. But it's awfully close to the transfer case, and I'm going to have trouble fishing the pipes over here and getting them to line up with that. I can't take it up anymore because it's pretty much hitting that, and I can't move it over anymore because it's really close to the drive shaft. So here's what I started out with. This is a dyno mat. These all 3 are basically the same concept. These are a glass pack muffler. dual in, dual out, and then they cross over in the middle. I believe this is a Dynamax. I got it at a swap meet as well. As you can see, it's the same width, but at least the corners are rounded. That might allow me to tuck it up in there a little bit more. It's a little bit longer though. And this one is a MagnaFlow. I got this off Facebook Marketplace. I had one of these on a, what year was that? 96 Lincoln Mark 8. Had the double overhead cam, 32 valve engine in it, 4.6. Man, this thing sounded great. I got lots of compliments about how that car sounded. But I think I'm going to go ahead and try this one first, see if it'll tuck it up in there enough. Because yeah, that's kind of a more, I don't know, this is a full-size truck, even though it's a short bed. I'd rather save that MagnaFlow for something, you know, smaller that would need it. So if I can't get this one, then I'll go to the MagnaFlow. Well, I wasn't happy with either one of the other mufflers, so I've kind of went full circle and came back to the Cherry Bomb here, but I've pushed it back, so I will not be bringing the exhaust out the side. I will probably just bring it back. Oof, trying to run over cords here. Bring it out here a little ways and then angle it down. In other news, I don't know, this is kind of looking nice that things are filling in. None of this is welded in yet. I'm thinking with this one, I'm gonna go ahead and take this downpipe out and hopefully use that little stubby straight one that I was going to use on the driver's side. Maybe I can put that in there and get by with just using a 35. Okay, so this I'm assuming is a 35 degree. Didn't quite do the trick. It's just a few degrees off, but this factory piece of pipe, holding it up there as best I can, looks like it might do the job. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but you can see it has just a few more degrees of angle here. Unfortunately, where I'm going to be cutting it here, it looks like I'm going to also have to splice in a few more inches to make it reach, if it works. This is fucking miserable. I did a 3-inch kit on my Mustang and it was a breeze. It's just a real cocksucker working around this transfer case and cross members and everything. I'm getting there. All right, here's what's going on now. I did have to actually trim this piece another 3/4 inch, tack weld it back together again. I've got the elevation here where I like it, the clamp where I like it. But as you can see, there's just an ever so gentle angle there. Now, the best I can do is one of these 35 degree pieces. Like I said, I'm assuming it's 35. I've got some other pieces around here, used factory stuff, and it matches it or it is more. So I'm kind of in a dilemma here, but I think this is going to be what I try. I'm basically going to try to get this in there and hope there's enough play in this joint and this joint that I can get this, well, at least I'm going to cut it there, get this piece kind of shimmied in there, put some tack welds on it, and I should be able to unbolt it here, and it is not welded back here yet. So if I could get that in there and tack welded, pull the whole piece out, I definitely want these joints welded all the way around. These ones back here won't matter. I'll slip the muffler on last, just weld what I can. It'll be sealed up pretty good, but I definitely want it sealed up all the way here. Now, if I cannot get this piece to fit in there, I also have a plan B and a plan C. Now, both of those plans kind of devolve in quality, and plan C is a downright fucking hack, to be honest. Let's hope it doesn't come to that. Well, it looks like it's gonna work. Here's the excuse me. Here's the line showing that this is all the way bottomed out into this flange. This one's only about halfway, but that's fine. I could get it on there more, but it kind of starts putting things in a bind, and besides, I need to keep some room right here in this corner so that muffler's not hitting that cross member support. Not some of my prouder work, but I'll take it. I'm just glad I didn't have to resort to plans B and C. I guess I need to tear this apart, clean all this up, put it back together, get some tack welds on it, pull it all out and weld it. All right, let's take a look if we can get in here. It'll do. I think this side's going to be significantly easier. Let me shrink this down. There we go. Looks to me like I should be able to trim this piece here back about 4 inches to get this 90 to slide over this way. And then maybe trim about 3 inches off of that, and it should all couple together, I do believe. I'm gonna have to trim this large long piece down just a little bit as well. But that's gonna have to wait till tomorrow. I think I've been out here 6 hours doing this, mostly measuring and thinking. Right now I need to poop, I'm hungry, and I need to get to bed because I assume the guys are coming over tomorrow to help work on this. Later, fartwads. Well, it is the next day. I believe Aaron will be coming over. Don't know about Monty. Maybe he's at home watching the big sports ball tournament today. Happy sports ball day, everybody. Man, I don't get it. Well, I do get it. When I did the exhaust on my Mustang, it was so easy, it was fun. This one is miserable. I will not do this again for a 4-wheel drive. Screw this noise. What do you think?
I don't know what to think.
You want to finish the exhaust? I'll take a nap.
No. But I could. Well, I don't know if I could, but I could sure try.
I've about had my fill of it. I'm all funned out on exhaust. Gotta be finished. So the list, there's not much left. Even everything left on this list would be less work than finishing the exhaust. But like I said, hopefully I'm in the home stretch. Maybe some wipers. Going to keep an eye on the weather before we go. I don't want to waste money on wipers if we don't need them. I'm just that cheap. Got some new battery clamps. Might do a little driveway alignment on it. Tail lights. He's got a trailer light plug there. He pulled off a frame he stripped a couple days ago. I got another tail light in the cab there. I went and scrounged off the vehicle. I don't think I'm going to do the 3G alternator. Charging system seems to be working. Radiator cap, that'll be a big job. Axles need vent lines and some sort of a way to tie the battery down.
I guess I was dealing with wiring already, so I might as well continue the wiring.
Sounds good, Peter.
I hate wiring.
I hate exhaust now.
I don't know what's worse. They both sound terrible.
Yeah. Aaron,
Yes, sir.
I'm scared. This all went together too well. Something's got to be wrong. I keep looking, but it looks beautiful. After all the fight that exhaust gave me yesterday, this section, just a couple little trims and it all went together beautifully.
That is scary.
I can't find anything wrong. There's got to be something. Well, I guess I'm ready to weld this bitch together. Day is looking good so far. Roar. 'Tis finally done. Yeah, I know I left these flared out pieces on, but I don't give a shit at this point. You can put a hanger on it. And there is a whole shitload left in the kit, in case I ever get the stupid idea that I want to try this again. Aaron's been struggling with these trailer lights, tail lights, something. What's going on back here?
Well, I'm not sure. I don't know if it's ground issues or what. It is a mess. I'm trying to make it better,
Trying.
but I'm not doing very good.
I'll leave you alone before you lose your temper and hiss at me. Very satisfying. What I'm gonna do next? Something easy. This thing's not holding pressure. I thought it was gonna be easy. There we go. Well, hopefully it won't need vent lines for the axles for this trip, but you never know, we might decide to go do some wheeling. So we decided this hideous thing has to go, right?
Absolutely.
It gives the truck character, but not in a good way. Yes. Looks better already, it's not even awkward. To be honest, I'm not crazy about the grill guard on it either, but I've had worse. It's staying on. Wiggity whack, bitch whiskers. She's the feline with flavor. All right, let's see what you got there, Big Daddy.
Alrighty. Do we have taillights?
Indeed we do.
Do we have a left turn
Left,
signal?
yep.
And
Right,
turn signal.
yep. So far, pretty good.
Brake lights.
Awesome possum.
Yes.
Well done, sir. Let me
And
check the trailer plug. Should have tail lights and left turn signal.
so this should be left signal. That's the right. This should be tail lights. This should be
Excellent.
excelente.
I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but that's the battery that was in this truck. It actually takes a charge. It's doing pretty good. I'm talking to the viewers, not you. Fucking think everything's about you, don't you?
Sorry. You go ahead and talk to your viewers. I'll just leave back here.
All 17 of them. But anyway, just yeah, this is another thing that makes me think this truck hasn't been parked for very long. Maybe 3 years at the most. Of course, it is an interstate battery, and those are pretty good batteries. I know everybody wants to watch videos where the vehicle's been parked for 1.5 million years, but that doesn't seem to be the case with this one. Is it my fault that Fords just keep on running and don't get parked? No, it's not my fault. I know you want to do this.
I don't want to do it.
After all the work you put into that.
Stupid wiring.
Get the smile on his face.
And tail lights and trailer. Oh man.
See if she'll fire off, see how the exhaust sounds.
That's what I was wondering. See how the exhaust panned out for you.
fresh battery. Let's see what she thinks about life now.
I don't think you're getting any fuel.
Can't hear the accelerator pump squirting?
It's working, but I can hear the plunger, but yeah, there's no fuel going into the carburetor. There's no squirt, so I'll have to take the fuel line off, see if there's any fuel.
Cranking.
Yeah, fuel by now.
I got a fuel pump. It's going to take it long just to have it. Should we put it on?
I don't know. Well, the first time we started it, it wasn't primed and it had to run for a minute. Oh, it's that magic fluid.
Get you folks in here a little closer.
Still clean. Well, we'll see if she runs off of that for a minute. Or primes itself anyway. We're primed.
It sounds good too.
Yeah, sounds really good.
It's nice and mellow. I figured it'd be louder than that with. I'll be happy tonight if we just get it run long enough to find out if the radiator cooling system pressurizes.
Yeah. Alright, see what that does for you. Nope. Okay.
Excellent. We won't have to snuggle to stay warm. We still can, though.
At least we don't have to fill the cap with trash.
We don't know that yet.
Oh, we're getting a little rust over there.
The green one had a good heat system. It just, you couldn't keep the heat in it. All right, folks, it is now Monday afternoon. I was hoping to be driving this to work tonight, start working out any more bugs from there, but there's enough bugs now that I can't even do that. I'm not sure if it showed on the video. It would not run smoothly. We dinked with it for a little while. I messed with the idle mixture screws on the carburetor, and I noticed there was a vacuum line that was exposed, hadn't been plugged. I put a cap on that, and then a whistling noise started. We decided to call it a night, went and got something to eat and talked about it, and decided that that made sense. Putting that cap on that line just made the vacuum leak move somewhere else and make that whistling. Possibly a gasket underneath the carburetor, because we reused most of those gaskets. We came back here, decided to take a real quick look at it, pulled the carburetor off. This was the gasket we were worried about, the one that goes right on the intake. This one looks pretty good. Where'd the other one? Yeah, that one was new. We put that one on. But anyway, we're pretty sure it wasn't the gaskets now, because once we got the carburetor out of the way, and this happened earlier before we left, Aaron found this. I don't remember where he said he found it sitting, but it came off the vacuum tree back there, because it was gone once I got the carburetor stuff out of the way and noticed that. Well, from what little we heard, it sounds pretty good. Also, once we got this out of the way, as you can see, that was all crunchy. It was still on there, but all it took was just a little bit of very gentle prodding and it fell off. So we're thinking the vacuum leak could have been there, definitely back there, and possibly the gaskets. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and cut all new gaskets for it, except for that one. That one's still good. I'm going to go ahead and grind this exhaust port all out and weld that shut. And then, as you may have noticed in the video, when we tried to restart this after it sat for 2 weeks, the fuel pump would not reprime. We had a hell of a time getting it to reprime. We had to actually fill the bowls in the carburetor to get it to run long enough to get the fuel pump to prime. I do have a new fuel pump for it. We were just going to take that along just to have it with us on the trip. I'm going to go ahead and put that on now. As I think I already mentioned, I've had a couple of Fords in the past that were that way. Took quite a bit of cranking to get them to going because the fuel would drain back into the tank, that I've never had one that was this bad. Oh, and one more thing. I wondered about the alignment because of the way the front tires were worn. These are different tires now. As you can see, this one's pretty straight. If anything, it might be just a little bit out that way. Looking at the passenger side, it is definitely sticking out that way. It's not showing up nearly as good in the camera as there in person, but trust me, it is out there quite a bit. Anyway, I'm gonna get busy. Well, I decided to get in there and vacuum up all the mouse turds before I started working on it, and while I was in there, I just happened to bump that vacuum cap. Yeah, it came off just bumping it, so there's another potential vacuum leak. After that, I did go ahead and check these two. They seem to be firm and in pretty good condition. Anyway, next step, I'm gonna get in here with the die grinder and clean all this up out, all the carbon and rust and whatnot out of there, get her good clean metal so I can just weld that and plug it shut with weld. There she is, all plugged up. It's pretty smooth, if I do say so myself. I did have to grind a little bit up here. I ground a little here. I don't know that I had to, but I'm pretty happy with the results. I think I'm ready to start putting stuff back together. Cutting some gaskets. I already got those two vacuum leak issues taken care of. So this very first gasket is kind of a steel core one because it was had hot exhaust gases flowing through it. But now that I have that passage plugged off, it does not need to be that tough anymore. So just a regular old paper gasket that I cut out. It'll do the trick. Carb's all back on there. I believe I got all the vacuum issues addressed. New fuel filter. I was just going to take that along, but we'll go ahead and put it on now as soon as I got it. I will take the old fuel filter along with it, throw it in the glove box. Right now, I've got the fuel pump out of there. The comparison looks pretty good. I wouldn't be surprised if this is the original pump, because that metal line, I had a hell of a time getting it to break loose. This rubber line is pretty soft and rotten. It broke away when I tried to pull it off the nipple. Well folks, it is now Friday afternoon. I have not touched the truck since Monday evening for various reasons. We'll go in the order of less importance. First of all, I've been sick. I still am. It's been cold all week, and getting out in this cold air really messes up my throat. Today is the warmest day we've had for a few days, and after today the temperature is supposed to plummet again for like another week. So I figure I better get her out here and finish up this truck. Excuse me. But I really don't need to finish up this truck because we've decided not to go to the swap meet. We were going to be driving almost all the way there in snow and wind, not like blizzard quality of snow and wind, but still enough. And the most important factor of that is the weather that's going to be actually at the swap meet. It was going to be raining there all day the day before, and then the day of the swap meet was going to be really cold. So those two factors, no doubt with all the rain, the ground was going to be very muddy, and then cold temperatures, we figured I won't go so far as to say nobody would be there selling, but I bet it would seriously curtail the amount of sellers there. So we decided, even without the bad weather driving in to get there, even if it was good weather, it probably was not going to be worth the almost 8-hour trip, and that's taking the shortest distance there. We were not going to take the shortest distance. We were going to drop straight south into Kansas City, hit a gun show, and then there's a couple other places we were going to kind of pinball around on our way there. But needless to say, I'm blathering on. We're just not going. My sincere apologies as there's not going to be a trip payout on this truck, but I do have some alternate plans for it. Now then, when I left this Monday evening, I had just finished installing the fuel pump. I did not have time to put the power steering pump back in place. I had just enough time to run this for a couple of minutes to make sure the fuel pump primed and see if I got all those vacuum leak issues resolved, which I believe I do. It was running better. This will be a good true test of whether it was the fuel pump letting all the fuel leak back into the tank or not, because this has been sitting for 4 days now. Kitty don't like it when I fire it up in here, but we're going to do it anyway, Kitty. Cold-blooded yet, but I'm going to go ahead and say the fuel pump is doing the job. Aw, poor kitty. Much better. So I've decided I need to address this flooding issue. I have a rule about rebuilding these 2-barrel motorcraft carburetors. I learned years ago when you rebuild them to never use the new needle and seat from the kit. The old ones work better. I don't know how many times I put a new needle and seat in and they leaked. They did just what this one was doing. I wondered maybe I forgot that rule when I rebuilt this one, a year and a half ago. So I went and got the original carburetor that was on this engine. I figured I'd scrounge the needle and seat out of that. When I pulled this one apart, no, this is not a new one. You can clearly see that's an old used one, but you know, whatever. I'm going to go ahead and use this one I pulled out. Something else interesting I noted, this one has, the one I'm taking out, has a little extra fuel screen in it, in the seat. But the one that I'm pulling out, this isn't really related, but I'm going to use it anyway. The float out of this carburetor that was originally on this truck has this spring-loaded float on it, which are allegedly better, and I could see why in theory, for off-roading. It's going to help dampen the float bouncing around off-road. So I'm definitely going to go ahead and use that. Alright, it's not flooding anymore. It seems to be running, I don't know, decent, not great. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but it's not really smooth. And there's a whistling there. I just can't seem to get rid of that. I was hoping that was the vacuum leaks, but I don't know. Who knows how many miles this carburetor's got on it. Maybe it's the throttle shaft leaking air. I think I got it adjusted pretty well. It's not smelling rich back here. I know I should check my timing, but I'm just gonna overlook that for now. I gotta do something about this alignment. I really don't care if the steering wheel is straight. I'm just trying to get these kind of roughly straight, because as you saw, they were off quite a bit. I'm just gonna deal with this side here. And having said that, I've already got the adjuster in here all broke loose and work loose, so it'll be easy to work with. One thing I would like to point out though is if you're doing this with an old straight axle truck, you don't have to take this next step, but I feel like these twin traction beam and any kind of independent suspensions, you want to make sure the suspension is settled out after jacking it up. So get up on here. There we go. Yeah. Now if you got two people here, the easiest thing to do is just use a tape measure across each line and adjust accordingly from front to back. I don't have two people here. I will usually work by myself. So I've got this little do-bobber. I think I ordered this from Speedway Motors several years ago. And if you're going to do this like I do, get whatever you have to do, concrete blocks, wooden blocks, to try to get the pointers up to the center of the tire if possible. It's going to give you your most accurate measurement. I'm just going to run this about 1/8 inch toed in, call it good. I will point out, the nice thing about using this little doohickey instead of a tape measure back here, you don't have all these pieces of suspension and crossmember and stuff to run into, like a tape measure would. It gets down and below it all. So what I'm finding here, I have these ones set for the lines up front. I moved it around here to the back side, and it is almost dead nuts on. Maybe just towed out just slightly in the front. Not nearly as bad as it visually looked. The bar is now set to where it is dead center. If you take it to the back, I brought it back around front, and looks like about 1/8 of an inch by my calibrated eyeball. I'm gonna lock her down and call it good. Well, just putzing around here on the property with it, I'm definitely sure it needs a little timing work. Well, the way I see it, I got two options for this truck. Wait for another opportunity for a road trip. That gives me more time to tune it and whatnot, but that, I don't know, kind of takes some of the urgency, for lack of a better word, out of it. You know, trying to get it done and take it on a trip. Second option, cheap-ass trail truck. That's why I was loading up those tires back there. Let's take a look at them. This first set is a set of 35, 12, 50, 15 TSLs, really good tread on them, but they are dry rotted really bad. I picked these up really cheap. I think I paid 100 a quarter, 125 for them. These are a set of tractor tires. They don't match. These ones, the bias plies are a little bit taller. Actually, they're noticeably taller than the two radial versions. Could put them on these 20-inch wheels. I got these wheels at the Springfield swap meet last summer for, what did I pay for them? 100 a quarter. I think I've got maybe $300 in all four of these tractor tires. These tractor tires might be a bit optimistic, being able to fit them on this truck. And even if I got them to fit, it might be a little bit optimistic if these half-ton axles will hold up to it. If I go that route, I don't feel bad about it. People like the Bullnose, I sure do, but the body is trash on it. And sure, you could put a better body on it, but the frame is kind of getting there too. It's not to the point where the rust is bad that failure is imminent, but there's better frames out here to start with. If I want a short-bed four-wheel drive, I've got a 92 up there in the yard, 351 Windsor, step side. I love step sides, flare sides, whatever you want to call them. So I don't feel bad about making this into a trail truck because, you know, honestly, when I spotted this at that auction, I knew that a short-bed Ford had a wheelbase of 117 inches. And you know what else I've got that has a wheelbase of 117 inches? I have two 1970-71 Torinos. I think you see where I'm going with this. That was the main reason I wanted this truck. So anyway, let me know what you think I should do with it, even though by the time you see this video, it might already be in the process of being made into an ultra cheap trail truck. Because if that happens, I got to have it done by next weekend. We want to go out snow wheeling before the snow melts. That might be a tall order because all week it is supposed to be nasty cold here. I don't know if I'm going to have that kind of ambition to get out here in the cold and get this thing built. But anyway, sorry the video turned out so long, especially for no payout in the end. And until next time.
Watch out for your cornhole, bud.